Welcome to Aging Untold. Today we're talking about our body's largest organ, which requires different care as we age. It's your skin, and it can become more fragile like this as the decades go by. So what exactly is happening? There's reduced collagen and elasticity in the years leading up to our 40s, dryness and thinning in our 50s, slower healing and more sensitivity in our 60s, and the potential for bruising and texture changing in our 70s and beyond. Let's take a closer look at these skin challenges. Sam, what are the biggest problems you see?
Well, first off, I think we have to realize that old skin isn't just old, it's physically different. This is biology. You have less collagen, which you said, you have a less elasticity, your fat padding is lessened, and so the skin itself has changed, your physical body has changed, and you have to do what you can do to protect it. Your skin's job is to protect you, but you have to protect it. So what moisture is to a plant, what water is to a plant, moisture and hydration are to the skin, and it's our jobs to take care of it.
Yeah, because the other thing that the skin is doing, it is the largest organ, but it's also your first defense for the body. It's protection. It's a barrier against viruses, bacteria, and even toxins, and it actually prevents excess fluid loss. So that's how you're maintaining that hydration. So just think, when it thins, you're losing that protection. It is also protecting you against infections and injuries in that. So basically, the skin is the foundation. The collagen is the strength. Elasticity is your resilience. So an intact skin protects the entire body. And when you start to lose that, you increase your risk for a whole bunch of other things.
You know, I remember my sister years ago, I never used moisturizer. And she had skin like a baby's butt. I mean, it was just gorgeous. And she looked at me and she said, "Do you not moisturize?" And I said, "No, it's just like a waste of time. I'm essentially lazy when it comes to taking care of myself." And she said, "Well, you really ought to." And she kind of looked at me critically, like only an older sister can. And so I started doing that. And then I realized over time, just what you guys are talking about, the importance of moisturizer. And there's a lot of expensive moisturizers out there, but there's a real affordable way to moisturize your skin with basic moisturizer. You know the ingredient that has to be in the moisturizer to be the best?
I like hyaluronic acid because that's what your collagen and all that is losing. So hyaluronic acid causes your tissue and all that to really build up and retain moisture.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of these beauty products are geared towards, plus, collagen and all those different things.
Yeah, and I think just being really basic about moving around, keeping your body moving, not sitting down and creating pressure, not leaning, not doing things that make the circulation difficult.
You have to give your body what it needs. So the skin, it needs that integrity, it needs nutrients, it needs protein, it needs hydration, it needs circulation, the movement and the muscle and all that. So you're absolutely right. The body will heal itself if you give it what it needs.
So what about sun and fresh air, Dr. Ray?
Well, sunlight is one of the big things that gets your circadian rhythm going first thing in the morning. So that is important, fresh air and all that too. But you're going to get that if you're moving, which is circulation, which is going to be even more important.
So then the saying motion is lotion really applies here too, like move your body.
That's right.
Keep things flowing.
You can tell a lot about what's going on with somebody's system by their skin. That might be the first clue to disease. And a fragile skin equals a fragile system. So you can tell by the color, bruising, thin, do they have diabetes, heart disease? All those different things are depending on circulation. And if they have those things, it'll show up in their skin first many times, and their healing will be impaired.
Yeah.
And it can really be just terrible to deal with, plus embarrassing. There's guilt and shame attached to it. So.
Yeah, and I think the lesson my sister gave me is start early.
Yeah.
Start early. She was maybe 50 at the time she was talking to me. I was in my early 40s. But I think just generationally, start early so that you're in the habit of it. So when you get to 70 and 80, it's already ingrained in you. You're already used to taking care of your skin.
Right. And, like you said, skin breakdown is a warning sign. But we have to realize sun's great, but too much sun is not so good.
Yeah.
And there are some medications, steroids for somebody who's asthmatic is going to cause the skin to thin out more. Smoking is actually a leading factor for skin to thin out more and poor circulation. So there are things that you can do early on if you're on those medications because you have to be, then you need to be aware of the damage that you could be doing long term to your skin and start working to prevent it now with
And then
moisture
hormones,
and
loss of hormones is a big deal that people do not think about. So this is something that you could start early on in your 30s and 40s if need be, and especially when you're menopausal. Estradiol, and then estradiol is in men as well. It's important in men that they aromatize their testosterone over to estradiol. That's how they get theirs, and that's equally important as well.
So I know even older people could be eligible for hormone replacement therapy. And my mother's like, why would I want to do that? I went through menopause so many years ago.
Absolutely. People don't realize you use hormones for relief of symptoms, but if done in the right order and in the right hands, it actually prevents disease, and it helps with healthy aging.
So lots of tips, and we'll be back with more on Aging Untold.